Hey y'all, today we're going to be making eggs Benedict. Now, I've never made these at home. The only time really I ever get these is when I'm on a cruise ship. And I don't have another cruise booked until November, and I was craving some eggs Benedict, so we're about to make some, y'all. So don't let it intimidate you. It's not as difficult as what you might think. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by separating some eggs. Now, I put my butter, a stick of butter, over into the microwave, okay, because we're going to need that in a minute. And you do need melted butter, so it wasn't me forgetting to set it out. You do need it to be melted. So you're going to go ahead, and I know there are easier ways to do this. You could crack it right into your hand or whatever, but I just wanted to show y'all the way that I do it. If you don't want egg all over your hand, you just pass the little yolk back and forth, and eventually all the white will fall off. So for this recipe, and look at that. Look there, y'all. Left my little mistake in there. I dropped the whole darn thing in there, and it busted, so I couldn't use it. But I'm going to use them egg whites for an omelet tomorrow, so don't you worry about that. So you're going to need 3 egg yolks, okay? That's what we're going to need. And you're going to need to put these into a decent sized bowl because we're going to make a double boiler out of this, okay? So you're also going to need a tablespoon of lemon juice. And I just got me a lemon. I rolled it around on the counter for a minute to go ahead and get those juices to flowing, you know. And then I'm just going to cut it in half. And I squeezed it into just a little measuring cup, you know, because I knew I was going to have seeds everywhere, and I needed to kind of measure it because I didn't want it to be overly lemony, so I didn't really want to eyeball the lemon juice. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I like to eyeball stuff, but I decided to play by the rules with the lemon juice. So I just squeezed it into this little measuring cup, and then I'm just going to take a tablespoon and just scoop it out of my little measuring cup. And then we're going to put that right over in with our eggs. Now go ahead. I added a tiny bit of salt. Now I didn't want to add pepper, because I wasn't real sure how that was going to go with me, like the whole cooking process we're fixing to have to do. But I did add just a touch of salt. So what you're going to want to do is bring some water to just a slight boil, okay? And you're going to want it just a simmer. You don't want it like a full-on rolling boil. And you want a bowl that is not going to be touching the water. You don't want your bowl to actually touch the water. Now, normally what you would do is take a whisk and you would just whisk the fire out of this because this is just your eggs on here, right? So we're cooking these eggs, but you don't want your eggs to scramble. So there's a fine line. But again, it's not as difficult as it looks. But if you can see on whatever device you're watching this video on, I was slinging egg everywhere. Honey, I had egg from one end of my kitchen to the other. So you see I tilt it down here because this little beater thing was kind of up out of the egg. So it was kind of flinging it. You see what I'm saying? So just be very careful if you decide to use one of these. I thought I was doing myself a favor. And, sometimes, favors are not as good of a favor as we think they are. So once you get your eggs pretty much, really, really mixed, warm, and they turn to a lighter yellow color, you're going to start slowly adding in that melted butter. Okay, you're going to need to add it very slowly because if you just pour that hot butter in, you're going to scramble your eggs and you're going to end up with a broken Hollandaise, okay? Because that's what we're making here is a Hollandaise sauce, okay? So go ahead and just add it maybe a tablespoon at a time, and you're just going to, if you're using a hand, like a whisk, you're going to want to whisk the fire out of this constantly, okay? So you're going to need to do that, and this is it when it's done. See, it's a light yellow, creamy, beautiful, wonderfulness, okay? So anywho, I went ahead. Now we're going to get our eggs ready to poach. So this is a neat little trick. If you take an egg and you crack it into a real fine little colander or sieve little thing here, you see all that stuff in the bottom of the bowl? That's all the stuff that's just going to be trailing and making your egg ugly, okay? Because if you look in the little colander, there's still egg white in there. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is bring a pot of water, and you need several inches of water because you want to give your egg plenty of room. Add you about a tablespoon or 2 of vinegar. Now, that's going to help your egg to stay together, okay? And we don't want to salt and pepper these because from everything I found out, salt will kind of mess up the way that your egg cooks. Now, is that fact? I don't know, but I wasn't taking a chance because, like I said, this is my first time. I'm trying to play by the rules. So you're going to go ahead and you want that to just where the bottom has a few little bubbles. You don't want this boiling. Then you're going to make a little vortex, make you a little tornado in your water, and then you're going to just drop your egg right down in the center of it. And you see my egg right down there in the center. It doesn't have a lot of that white stringing off of it because we strained that really, really liquidy part of the egg white. We strained that off. So once you get your egg in here, set you a timer for 3 minutes. You're going to want to let this cook. Now, if you like it the consistency that you see of mine in the picture, I like my white set and my yolk runny. So I let this sit for about 3 minutes. And you see that it's spinning because I stirred it around every now and then just to kind of make sure that it wasn't going to stick and, make sure it's getting all good and cooked. So you're just going to cook that for about 3 minutes. Then you're going to take it off and you're going to take it out and you're going to set it on I set mine on a paper plate with a paper towel on it to let some of that water come off there because you don't want your English muffin to be all watery. So while I'm getting my eggs poached up, I went ahead and I had my Canadian bacon and my, Lord, what is that thing called? English muffin. I put a little butter on it and I'm letting my muffins toast and letting my Canadian bacon cook. And you can do regular bacon, you can do salmon, you can do whatever you want, but I usually have Canadian bacon. And so that's what I used. So you're just going to let those toast up good while your eggs are cooking. Then you're just going to put it together. You put your English muffin down on your plate and then put down your little Canadian bacon. Then you're going to put one little poached egg on each one of your little stacks. And honey, these were some pretty poached eggs. I was mighty proud of myself for these poached eggs because they turned out perfect. They were cooked perfectly and they looked so pretty. I was so proud, y'all. But anyway, now is when I went ahead and added a little bit of salt and pepper to my eggs because, you're going to need some flavor on your eggs. But you don't need too much because we do have our Hollandaise sauce and you did not see me season that. However, once I got it cooked, at the end of it cooking, I added some salt and pepper to it. So add, whatever little seasonings you want, okay? So then you're just going to spoon that, and it just takes a couple of little spoonfuls, and you put it right over the top. Now, I will tell you, this does not keep in the refrigerator. If you put it in the refrigerator and try to heat it the next day, it's just going to be separated and curdled and disgusting. So only make enough for what you're going to be cooking, okay? And then I just sprinkled a little bit of parsley on it. I wish I'd had some fresh, but I didn't. Just sprinkle that on there just for a little color. And then I'm going to cut into it right here so y'all can see. Look how perfectly poached this doggone egg is. Y'all, I'm telling you. And it was good. It was really good, y'all. So if you've ever let Eggs Benedict kind of scare you, don't let it scare you anymore. Make sure that you give this a try, even if it's just for a special occasion. So just put a little something extra in your toolbox. Okay, I'm going to pop another video right over here, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.